Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we will be looking at a brand new product and one that everyone has been talking about, and that is Liquify by Tobias Dostal. This is personally one of the projects that I've been waiting the most on, and I'm super excited it's out. I've tested it out, I've played with it, and if you expected me to say that this is bad, it is not. It is fantastic. I will agree with most of the reviewers, but hopefully I can tell you some additional information that maybe will justify this for you or maybe not. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Liquify. So what is Liquify? Liquify, in the simplest sense, is an effect where you take an object, you can melt it, and then you can restore it. That is what Liquify is in the simplest sense. Now, I won't be performing it live for you, but I have a ton of clips that I will include on the sides of the screen. There's one of them where I take a ring and melt it, then restore it. There's one with chocolate, while I melt the chocolate, restore it. There's one where I take a chocolate and make a chocolate ring. And I believe there's one also where I take some ketchup and then make it become a strawberry after I melt it and play around with the ketchup. You'll see a bunch of the performances pop up on the screen while I continue talking. So now that you know what Liquify is and you can see what it is from the performances, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this pretty much anywhere. It is available at all your favorite magic dealers because it is published by Murphy's Magic. So you can get it from ALAKAZAM Magic, which is where I got mine, or you can get it from your local magic dealers or any others. You will see it pretty easily. It will set you back $74.99, which is brilliant for conversion in Canadian dollars because it is on the dot 100 Canadian dollars if you want to buy this. And then what do you get? So when you purchase Liquify, the first thing that you get, you're going to get a tutorial video which spans just close to an hour with Tobias Dostal. He's going to go over a ton of routines, ideas, tips, how to perform in the spectator's hand, live performances, etc., etc. You're going to get a ton of ideas and a ton of tuition. The tuition is great. Everything is well explained and you will understand everything that you need to know about Liquify. So what do you get in the package? Well, there's already the packaging that's been revealed on the actual Murphy's Magic website and as well on Lloyd Barnes' channel, but they have gotten the permission to show you the gimmicks. So I cannot show you the gimmicks because I don't feel I have that permission and I don't want to get in any trouble. But what you get inside, I can show you at least the rings because those are, well, not gimmicked. You're going to get the box is also hard shell. It's a bit annoying to open, but you are going to get these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rings. You're going to get these 5 rings. You're going to get a black ring, a white ring, a gold ring, a brown ring, and a silver ring. The rings I have really big hands and they do fit, so they're really good. They fit on all my fingers, so I can do pretty much anything I want with them. You know, I could even do like a ring magic if I want. You can do whatever you want with it. They will work well. I think they're pretty much one size fits all, and especially you're not going to wear these rings necessarily. They're not that stylish, so you're going to get the rings. The rings themselves are well done, but I do feel that they are a bit on the cheaper side. All of them already come with blemishes. I don't know if you can see that, but every ring has like these lines in the middle of like, I think this is when it painted, maybe they didn't get painted well. I don't know if the camera can pick up on them, but all of the rings have like these same blemishes. And also I've started using, for example, the white ring a bit, and it's already starting to the paint is starting to chip off and break down. Same for the gold, which I've been using quite a lot. Some of the paint is starting to blemish out. And that's not a major problem. You know, these could be repainted with a Sharpie over like some small blemishes, but also you can use other rings for this. These are just the ones supplied to practice and have with you. And even, you know, if the paint does go out a bit, you know, it won't detract from the effect that you are doing. So that is fine. So you're going to get these 5 rings in those 5 colors, but then you are going to get 8 gimmicks. The gimmicks that you are going to get are green. So you can get one gimmick that's green that you can do stuff with, he says, like gummy worms, or if you have like disgusting dirt or something like that, it's more green. You can do that with the green one. You get a brown one, which matches the chocolate color. You get a caramel colored one, which matches caramel. So if you want to do something with caramel, you get a white one, a gold one. You get kind of, it's not really a brown, it's more like a red kind of a red, but a darker red. So it's not bright red like ketchup. It's a bit of a darker red. So you get that one as well. You get a silver and you get a black. So you get all of those gimmicks with you. The gimmicks also do fit everyone. They are elastic where you're supposed to put them. So they're gonna fit the smallest of fingers, but they're also gonna fit the thickest of fingers. Now, of course, you're not going to put it on your thumb, but you are going to use, your index and your middle finger for this, and it fits perfectly. Even putting them on super quickly is going to fit perfectly. So you're going to get all that in your packaging. So now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is Liquify to perform? The main routines of Liquify are relatively easy to perform. Now, if you just want to do, for example, the ring one, where you take a ring, you show that you're heating it up, you then do this, you then proceed to melt it and then just restore it. It is relatively easy. In like 10 minutes of practice, you'll be able to do it. Most of the routines are around like that. So for example, if you just want to do something with a coin, where you have a coin, you proceed to melt the coin and then just make the coin reappear solid, super easy to do. If you want to do, for example, the chocolate one, where you have a chocolate and you melt the chocolate and then restore the chocolate, super easy. Now, if you want to add things, so for example, the ketchup one has a lot more to it. It involves having a bit of palming involved. It involves a bit of thumb palming with other objects, multiple objects palmed at the same time, manipulating other stuff, making sure the specter is doing what it's supposed to do. It involves a bit more. For example, the chocolate one with the ring also involves palming a bit more when you're doing the routine, so you have to take care of that as well. So some of the routines are a bit more involved than others, but most of them are relatively easy. They're not that hard. The only thing that you're gonna have to practice is the way that you do this. As you saw probably from my videos, because I've placed them in order, you can see that my movements with the gimmick and everything has gotten better throughout the videos. You're just gonna have to practice, doing it and testing it out. You don't want it to be very robotic like this, because it's not gonna look like anything. You're just gonna have to get to really imagining you have goo in your hand and really, playing around with that. So that's gonna be the only thing that's gonna take some practice. You can do it in front of the camera, in front of the mirror. It's really not that hard. You're gonna get a gist of it relatively quickly. I think for me, I've practiced maybe this around 40 minutes before taking it out. I've practiced different routines, etc. And then I was good to go. I've performed this a ton with me in the real world as well, to family, friends, and just random people that have seen me doing it and then were like, what just happened? And then I've performed to them. So it's really easy to get to it and go out and perform. You're just gonna have to practice just a bit. Now let's talk about practicality. So how practical is this? Now, to perform the effect, if you want to do the casual one, you need a ring and your gimmick. Now the ring can be brought with you, which you can just carry around in your pocket, or you can borrow it, which means you don't have to carry around the ring, and then the gimmick. So overall, for most of these effects, you can just carry the gimmicks. You do not need the ring. So if you know that you're going, perform this everywhere to everyone, then bring your own ring. But if you know you're just gonna go and maybe perform this through a night out if the opportunity arises, take a few gimmicks with you, place them in a Ziploc in your bag or something, and have them with you. Now, personally, I wouldn't carry these in my pockets because my phone is very big and my wallet is very big, so I can't really have space for them. So I won't necessarily have this in my pockets, but I always have my backpack with me, or a small bag or a breast bag, and I can put the gimmicks in there and have them ready to go. So to carry this around, you need your gimmicks. That's the most important. And then if you want, you can bring the rings with you, but those are not obliged, because as I said, you can also do this. This is not in the tutorial. I just thought of it right now while doing the review. Let's say you're at a coffee shop with your friends. You take some sugar, you place it in your hand. You say, look, I'm going to warm up the sugar. You make the sugar be completely liquid, and then you just slap the sugar back up to solid and you can blow it on the table. So that's just impromptu. So as long as you have the gimmicks with you, I wouldn't take all of them, but I would bring a few. You can have impromptu scenarios to do that. So now in terms of the angles of this are 180. You do not want anyone behind you because, well, they will see the method. So it's 180 degrees in order for the angles. In terms of inspectability, technically everything is inspectable, but yes, you will have to ditch the gimmick that cannot be inspected. That achieves the effect, but it's relatively easy to do, and it gives you a ton of cleanup methods and ways to do it super cleanly. But overall, the ring can be inspected, the object that you produce can be inspected, the object that you borrow can be inspected. So overall, it is pretty much inspectable completely. In terms of table, you do not need a table space for this whatsoever. And lastly, in terms of reset, it is pretty much instant reset. So you can do it to a person, go to the next table or to another group of people and do it with basically not having to reset anything. It is very good on the reset as well. And now, after we've talked about this, where do you perform the Liquify project? Well, you perform Liquify, I think, in close-up scenarios. This is not something I would necessarily do on Parlor or Stage. If you perform ring magic on Parlor Stage, this is a brilliant way to introduce your ring. It's one of the best ways that I've seen to introduce your ring, so you can do it there. But apart from that, most of the routines do fit very well for social media, Zoom, or very close-up performances, casual, anything walk around, anything impromptu, anything bar, restaurant, etc. This would work perfectly for those scenarios. Now that we said all of this, what are the positives and negatives of Liquify? First, let's go off with the negatives. The only negative that I have with Liquify is that the rings that they give you aren't the best quality. As I said, and as I've shown, I don't know if the camera picked it up, some of them already have started to chip and to get blemishes, and some of them already have blemishes. And I've seen other reviewers as well, when they've showed you the rings, all of the rings have those specific blemishes inside. So I think it was kind of manufacturing or something. But the rings aren't the best quality. So if you have your own rings or you want to buy your own rings, I think you'd be much better off, or just borrow them. It's going to be well. But the rings still are good for practice, or if you're in a pinch and you just want to use it, you could use the rings, no problem. In terms of positives, one, the instructional video is very good. The gimmicks themselves are very good. You get a ton of different colors. The effect is new. It's interesting. It's not your usual effect. You can do this pretty much impromptu as long as you have your gimmicks. The gimmicks are going to last you a lifetime. I don't see them breaking at all. They're very sturdy, very elastic. They're very good. The gimmicks fit everyone. They're one size fits all. The rings are also one size fits all, which is absolutely great as well. The routines are relatively easy to do with a little practice, and everything plays super well in a close-up scenario. So now that I have said all of this, would I recommend Liquify, and what do I give it out of 10? I would 100% recommend Liquify if you're a magician, strolling magician, bar magician, anything that deals with close-up. I think you must purchase it. Even if you're like social media magician, you can basically use Liquify infinitely on your Instagram page. You can just keep doing it with random objects. You're gonna find ideas, and you can basically you do one video a week with just Liquify products for the next month. You'll be good to go. Maybe even few months, you'll be good to go. So it's good for that as well. And even if you're not a magician, maybe just having this and practicing it and having fun with it could be useful, because it is such an innovative and interesting product. So I do definitely recommend it, and I'm giving it a 9.75 out of 10. It is almost perfect. I'm just not a biggest fan of the rings that they give you, but except from that, it is a fantastic, incredible, and genius project that I cannot wait for you to get your hands on and see everyone have their different takes on performing it. So that's all I have to say about Liquify. If you have any additional questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a good one, and bye-bye.